Hi everyone, hope you're all doing well. This is a somewhat unusual update to the Battle of Wagram project. I've been painting away the last few weeks and adding a few more regiments to the collection, but there's not been too much going on in the painting front, unfortunately. But today, on my day off, I've decided let's write some rules for this and something that's probably pertaining more to the grand tactical scale of things and for 3mm miniatures. So it's kind of tailor-made for this project, really, but I've actually just thought, well, why don't I just share it to other people, and if they want to use it or want to punish themselves enough to read through it, they can. So I've just put it out on a few different Facebook groups, but this is it here. It's called March to the Sound of the Guns, as you can see. And it's a simple set of grand tactical miniature wargaming rules for generals, marshals and emperors. So probably overly dramatic subtitle there. I've just sort of put a basic introduction about what the rule set is about, just really to allow you to play the largest battles of the Napoleonic Wars. As a lot of the other rule sets out there, as great as they are, only really cover sort of regimental or brigade actions, or if you're lucky, maybe a division. So it's quite good, I think, maybe having something at this sort of level where you can play these gigantic battles in an afternoon. So that's really the goal here. So there's really four phases to the turns. So movement, shooting, charging and consolidation. So pretty self-explanatory, really, keeping it simple. And I use a series of unit statistics, so just giving different unit types and movement value, because obviously there's various different regiments and different unit types out there, so I think just to help homogenise them a little bit, just to categorise them into these rough segments. And each unit will have a skill and morale rating, so not dissimilar to, say, like Flames of War, where you have sort of confidence ratings and skill ratings. So kind of same idea here. So something like the French Old Guard, they would be Imperial and Impervious. Maybe something like, I don't know, say German Fusiliers from the Austrians, they'd be Regular, Reliable, that sort of thing. But you can have various combinations. You know, you'll have Impervious conscripts probably out there somewhere. So it's really just up to the players themselves to decide it. But rather than doing it for individual regiment, well, you can do it for individual regiments, but the idea is to allocate these skill and morale ratings to divisions rather than brigades and regiments and battalions, because you would be there forever sifting through orders of battle trying to find each individual unit's rating. So I'm kind of tarring larger units with the same brush, just so it's easier. For example, like the Imperial Guard would be pretty highly rated. Say Udino's Corps, they would be highly rated too. Maybe something like the Bavarian Corps wouldn't be so highly rated. You know, they're a little bit less reliable. So so it's just a way of giving large formations an easy way of defining their quality. So I've just included some pictures of some of the basing schemes that I use, just for helping identify them on the tabletop, and it's very loose. You know, you can use your own basing styles if you wish, but this is my way of doing it, just if people want to copy it, and I've put in the dimensions of the bases as well. And just a very brief synopsis of what the various unit sizes and formations mean, for those who aren't really massively well versed in it. This isn't incredibly well researched either, but it's more sort of anecdotal, but just for those who never really came across Napoleonic wargaming or wargaming in general, this is the sort of unit sizes we're talking about, just for reference. And I've managed to get the rules essentially for how to actually play the game really on, two sides of an A4. So if you so wished, you could probably just look at this as like a quick reference guide as to how to actually play it. So there's a few pre-game things you would go through, just sort of allocating the number of turns you want to do, and that sort of dictates how long you want to play for as well. Maybe a turn per person could be 45 minutes to an hour. And if you do say 4 to 6 turns, that's the best part of an afternoon or a day, you know. So it's really up to the players themselves. Kind of standard way of starting the game, rolling a d6 each, and then you pick who wants to go first, and then you can bring on reinforcements if you so wish, if it's appropriate. This is primarily meant to be scenario based. You know, if you're doing it historically, like as for myself, I'm doing Wagram as some of the other videos show, but it does leave scope for people making up their own scenarios or following others' historical scenarios. So you could decide between you when certain formations will come onto the board and that sort of thing. Shooting really comes down to the skill and morale values that I gave earlier on. I put just some simple ranges down for the weapons themselves, and that just explains the various ways that damage is incurred and when units withdraw or are removed and that sort of thing. Charging works by a similar sort of mechanic. Consolidation's basically your army and corps commanders and how they try and rally withdrawing troops, and your victory conditions is very simple as well. If someone gives up, that's obviously a major victory. If someone achieves all the objectives they set out to do, if one player holds more objectives more than the opponent, then that's a minor victory. If both players are kind of equally standing, then it's a draw. So yeah, that's it basically. So it's very, very rudimentary and probably a bit rubbish compared to a lot of other, you know, very well edited and researched rules. But this is literally something I came up with in my head in a day. So I'm hoping it's not too bad. But that's a little sort of synopsis of my 3mm rule set. Thanks.